Welcome back, everybody. This is Mog on Mog's Cast, once more playing some Kerbal Space Program with you folks today. And if you watched the last episode, you know we had some issues with our save file, but we're just going to keep pushing on like nothing happened, and I'm slowly going to replace that stuff in the background. At least I'll do my best to do so. Anyway, we're about to launch, so 3, 2, 1... And there we go. We are off, and we're heading up toward Jewel once again. I don't know exactly which planet I'm going to shoot for at this point, or which moon I'm going to shoot for at this point, but I know we're going out to one of the moons. I've got a lander here on the top of this thing that we're going to be using to land on one of the non-atmospheric moons, so we're not going to Lathe. We're going to go to one of the other ones out there. It's going to be one of the further ones out, I think. Maybe we'll try to go for, like, Pole or Bop and just knock it out. Maybe Tylo. Or have we been out to Tylo? I don't think we've been out to Tylo yet. I'll have to check my my videos in a minute here. I can't recall what we've done since the crash of the save file. But you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. We're just gonna keep pushing on and do what we can. So we're still building up speed, and I'm above terminal velocity, so I'm gonna slow that down, drop our first tanks. And now we're below terminal velocity, so let's make sure that we're not losing speed at the very least. And we're just gonna keep pushing on up. We've got the phase angle pretty much set up. I'll have to do a little bit of waiting for us to get up to Jewel to be ready to burn out that way. This should have more than enough fuel to do that. We're going to need to do an aero brake in Jewel's atmosphere, but hopefully this time the game won't decide to just die on me. I think I figured out what actually caused my driver crash, my display driver crash. I think it had an issue to do with, I have a ambient light kit for my computer. It has like a couple of lights that shine on the back walls and like a couple of pylons you can set up by Philips. Anyway, it hasn't been hooked up for a while because I've had issues with it in the past, especially with Windows 7. It never caught on, so the driver support was never really there. Really cool system. I really enjoyed it when it worked. It was rad, but yeah, never got it to work properly for the most part. So because of that, it uses some driver-based stuff, and it was actually causing my my display driver to crash, it looks like. So I had to... Whoa, too far. We want to go 45. So yeah, I actually ended up uninstalling that completely since it's not even hooked up at the moment anyway. And I think that's what was doing it. So I haven't had any crashes since, so I'm hopeful that that's all it was. And we shouldn't have any issues like that anymore. But we're pushing on here, so I'm going to come back to you guys once we get up into orbit. Okay, so we're starting to burn out toward Jewel now. I started a little bit late on my burn, so we're going to have to make up some of that difference, but it's a close enough encounter where I think we'll be just fine. So let's take a peek here. So yeah, as you can see, we're out there. The closest approach is looks like 5 million kilometers away, but that's easy enough to correct once we get out to this this node here. We can adjust our inclinations and actually get an encounter, I would imagine. Shouldn't be too hard to pull off. Okay, everybody, so we're coming on in here for our Jewel encounter. And our alarm clock should be going off. Yep, right there. So we have the encounter. As you can see, I'm kind of on a collision course, looks like with Lathe in particular, but let's take a look at how this is going to actually play out. So if I zoom back here, it looks like we're on a clockwise rotation around Jewel, but we kind of want to be going counterclockwise, I guess, if you're looking from the North Pole anyway. So I can correct that, and I'm going to come back once we get the orbit all set up. I think I'm going to be going out to Bop. Bop is going to be our goal. It's a bit off inclination, so I've got to figure out how to correct for that, which is going to be interesting. But the reason I want to do Bop is because it's actually got an Easter egg I want to check out. It's got the dead Kraken, so we're going to see if we can find that on Bop. Okay, so we're coming in here toward Jewel. We've got the periap set up so that I should be able to aero brake through its atmosphere to actually get captured without having to use any of our leftover fuel we've got. Thankfully, we've still got a little bit of fuel in the tank here, about 726 meters a second delta V in our interplanetary stage, and then like another 1300, I think, in the final stage. But I want to see how much of that I can hang on to so that we can actually do our landing. But let's go ahead and get zoomed on in here. I put away the solar panels so they don't break off during the aero brake. And this should be a good one. So I'm going to change up the view a little bit there. Zoom out and just take a peek. Sit here and watch a little bit. We're about to enter the atmosphere. So I'm flipping over to the retrograde marker. As we start entering that atmosphere, you can see it there. The re-entry effects from going through the atmosphere at almost 9,000 kilometers a second. And we are dropping in that apoapse there. You can see it starting to move our escape point, which means our apoapse is actually coming in because we're slowing down. So I'm going to speed this up just a little bit so we can watch this in here. And in a moment here, it'll switch from orbit hyperbolic to just orbit, and it'll show an apoapse here as well. And that means that we're actually captured by the planet. So there it goes. And at this point, we're starting to move. We're starting to move back up, it looks like. So we should be out of the atmosphere relatively shortly here. And there it goes. So I'm going to turn that down. Our apoapse is still pretty far out there, which is cool. That's what we wanted. I am actually going to bring that in just a little bit more, though, to kind of come a little bit more in line with BOP here. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to take a look here, and I'm going to get this node set up and figure out what we need to do to get this captured, because I don't want to waste any fuel if I don't need to, because I might actually want to keep that apoapse way out there. Okay, so I just blew past the point that we wanted a little bit on accident, but I think we're going to be close enough. This should be alright. So as you can see, we got it set up the nodes that we're dropping down our trajectory so that we're hopefully more in line with BOP. And it's going to use a good amount of fuel here, but we do still have a decent amount in the tank. So once that's finished, we'll be all good to go. I think we'll be able to get our corrections without too much of an issue, and we should be able to get an encounter and land on BOP. That is the plan. Hopefully it goes as described. Okay, so recharging the batteries a little bit before we do some of these final adjustments. So as you can see, we run out of fuel at about this correction level. So I'm bringing the sending nodes back into alignment with, I'm bringing the ship back into alignment with BOP. But we can't do our full orbit on the last of this interplanetary stage, so we're going to use up its fuel in correcting as much as we can, pulling our periapse out of the atmosphere of Joule so that it doesn't shrink anymore, and bringing ourselves, hopefully, into an orbit with the final stage, with enough left over to actually land. That's going to be the idea. So let's go ahead and get up to this burn point and go from there. The batteries look full, so we can put away our solar panels. And okay. I'm going to come back to you guys once we kind of get this all figured out and hopefully about to get into an encounter with BOP. Well, there we have it, guys. We've got our orbit pretty much all captured. Just doing some final tweaks for it. Well, not captured, but, you know, it's pretty much to the point where we have our encounter all set up with BOP. So we'll be able to drop down to it, get captured in BOP's sphere of influence, and then kind of go from there. So as you can see, if I can get it zoomed properly, stop focusing there. Yeah, we have an encounter. It's so much lower than I anticipated. That's fine. That shouldn't be too hard to correct. So let's do this, shall we? Let's go prograde, and we'll push that periapse for BOP back out just a little bit. There we go, up to 25. That's much better. And cool. So I'm gonna drop down to BOP and get all circularized, and then we'll go in for a landing and see if we can find that Kraken. Okay guys, so we just did the capture. I probably should have recorded that, but I, for whatever reason, just totally spaced on it. We've got 421 meters per second delta V left in the tank, and I don't exactly know where the Kraken is. So it's not a whole lot of fuel to do a landing. It's like a quarter of my fuel tanks on this final stage that I had prepared to do the whole thing with. So, what I think we're actually going to end up doing here is going for a refuel instead. We're going to refuel this thing, and then go for a landing to try to find the Kraken at that point. Do the responsible thing and try to keep Major Tom alive here. So there's your Kerbal, chilling all day. Thanks for the suggestion for the name. I hope you enjoyed flying with your Kerbal today. And we're going to come back out to you guys next time when we get this all figured out and we get to go see the Kraken. Cheers. We'll see you guys next time. Okay, so we're back. I've actually launched up a refueler that I'm going to be using and actually get the the lander that we've got set up all refueled, because I was gonna cut it at the end there without you know, leave it where it just was a moment ago before we cut away, but I was like thinking about it and I looked at the recorded video. It was only like 9 minutes and I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and launch this thing up. I called this the syringe because it's just this big tank with this tiny little junior clampetron down here at the end. The reason for this is because the only docking node on our lander is a little clampetron that was used for the mech jeb. So what I'm doing here is actually I'm gonna eject the other mech jeb from the lander, pop this into the docking node, refuel, detach this at this breaker, and leave it with the mech jeb attachment still on there. So it basically just injects a new mech jeb after refueling, and then this thing can pull away and do its own thing. I might scout a little bit for the Kraken with this to see if I can actually find out where it is. I have a general idea. I know it's kind of on the north hemisphere and kind of a clearing, like a little valley, if you will, I guess. But other than that, I really don't know too much about where it's located. I haven't really done much in the way of actual hunting for Easter eggs, so this will kind of be new. Anyway, this doesn't have engines; it's all RCS based. So I have to go ahead and do some orbital corrections and getting close to the lander, and I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so I'm about 150 meters off from this thing. I've zeroed us out for the most part. Okay, 0.1 meters per second left on movement here, but I'm actually going to turn that music down just a little bit. Sorry about that. I'm actually going to go ahead and switch over to the other craft, pull in these solar panels, and I'm going to point us facing north. I don't know how much it's really going to matter here, but oops, not on translation mode. I'll be right there, and with that, I'm going to need to eject this out. So decouple node. There it goes. Bye bye mech jeb. We'll bring a new one in. And there goes mech jeb. Can we rotate? Can we rotate it? I don't think we have any control whatsoever. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Oh wait. No. Okay, we don't. Whatever. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch over to this, and we are gonna get moving here. So zipping on in here. This thing has a lot of forward momentum. I've actually put a lot of extra thrusters on here for RCS so I can actually get some movement, because it's yeah, it can be a little tricky without. So I'm gonna do some maneuvering and be right back as we get in for a dock. Okay guys, we are getting very close now. I did some maneuvering, got this thing all ready to go for the most part, and we are pretty much looking good at this point. I'm just going to bring this on in, aligning my nodes. I have to make sure that I'm careful with this because I kind of didn't plan this super well. Oh no, slow back down. Slow that down. Because I've actually got these satellite things right out front, which are going to be a little tricky to work with, I think. Why do I keep gaining speed on this thing, it seems? It's really odd. Like I keep like seeming to speed up when I don't really want to. I just want to come on in nice and slow without going too crazy. Kill that rotation, let it do its thing, and we should have a dock here rather quickly. There it is. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, what is happening? Okay, it's saying I'm under acceleration, so I can't... Oh my gosh. This is terrifying. This is terrifying. This is terrifying. This is terrifying. Okay, we're just gonna do this. We're just gonna do this very quickly. Very quickly. As quickly as possible. Oh no. I'm ruining it. I am ruining it. Okay. Okay. I don't know why it's freaking out with these docking nodes. I don't want this to break. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking. Out. It is like clipping through. This thing is just gonna shatter and break everything and kill Major Tom, and I'm gonna feel really bad. This is not what I'm after. I don't know. This happened once before when I was messing with junior docking clamps with them too close to one another, so I don't really understand why this happens. But I think if the magnetism, like if the points are too close to junior docking clamps, that is, things will just freak out and like they try to magnetize the other ones that aren't supposed to be being magnetized, and it gives problems, and it's really tricky. I don't know if that's actually the cause or if it's something more along the lines of the weight distribution on such small nodes causing such an issue, but we're nearly done here. And we're doing okay so far. Nothing has severely broken. I just need to be very careful once this gets back. I need to decouple it at the right moment, I think, so that these things kind of fling apart and don't ruin anything. Okay, let's switch back here. Is that this? I think that I can't see it. What is that? That is that. Okay, so let's put that there, put this here. Okay. It tore off MechJeb though. Did it? It still thinks we have MechJeb for some reason or another. So I am looking well fueled, but I don't really have control of this. Off. And it's still wigging us out. Okay. You know what? This thing's going bye-bye. We're just gonna do this. We're just gonna make this work by hand. I don't even have SAS on here, which is a mistake of mine. We'll have to rely on strictly the pod's ability to hold us in position, it looks like. Wow, I cannot believe things survived that. Our little MechJeb thing did not. I think you know what? This happened last time I was using these. I don't know, maybe it's these struts that are just crap. And that apparently was attached to this, which is odd. But this thing's still alive with a little bit of fuel that isn't going to do anybody any good. I'm going to leave it here in case we do need to refuel this thing, but I don't think we will for any reason. So I'm going to scout around a little bit and see if I can find this Kraken. So I tried to exit a moment ago and go back to the spaceport to clean up some of the debris or whatever and get things out of there. I couldn't do anything. It all locked up on me and things weren't acting right. And I came back and lo and behold, a ship is still docked here and it seems like everything's all good to go. So I'm going to fill back up these tanks, make sure we're good, and hopefully I'll be left with a MechJeb, functional MechJeb on this ship. If not, whatever. Big deal. We'll make do. But yeah, kind of nice that they gave me another shot at this. You know, I was thinking about it, and I think that whole rotating and freaking out is a product of what would be considered the gyro Kraken, as people referred to that bug a while back, the Kraken. This is another variation of it, I do believe, with the rotating and the freaking out of the struts and everything, and you know, just the craziness you witnessed a moment ago. Anyway, just about done here. I'm gonna go ahead and once that finishes fueling, looks good, I'm gonna decouple from there and switch back to this ship, go to translation mode and back this thing out of here. And that's looking like it's gonna keep us okay. So with that all set up, I think we're gonna be alright on this. Looks like we got lucky there, folks. We got super lucky. So we're gonna call that good. Trust in the fact that that's still connected, and I do believe I'm gonna leave this decoupler on here because I think it's gonna take away our MechJeb if we don't. I think it's part of what we gotta deal with. So okay, I'm gonna use up some time here and actually get searching for that Kraken. Okay, guys, we are back. I'm over I realigned ourselves to a bit of a polar orbit. It was pretty much just scanning the northern area here, and I think this is where I'm gonna want to be. Is right in this area up here. I'm judging this based on some screenshots I've seen, some general areas that I've kind of come across through posts and different things like that on the forums for people who've found this. So this is gonna be interesting to see actually how this goes. I am not 100% on this whatsoever, so this should be interesting. Maybe it might end up being something where I have to mark up here and end up dropping a rover to help find this, because I know that it's one of these opening areas up here. I keep like wording this strangely. It's one of these fields like up here, big crevices on the surface. So we're gonna go ahead and do some physical time warp, get dropping. I'm watching our altitude up here. I'm trying to keep an eye around, but it's really hard to see the surface. It's really dark at the moment. I was hoping that I would have a little bit better view, but I don't seem to, and I don't see anything in this drill. That's nothing. That's just the stations in orbit. Do you guys see anything? I'm not seeing anything. I know I need to increase the brightness. Hopefully I've done that. If not, just drop a comment and I'll make sure to get that corrected. I am human. I definitely miss these things occasionally. Oh, why did I get rid of that? I need that for my altitude. Slow that down a little bit. I've killed most of my falling velocity. It's gonna be, I could probably let it go right now and it'd be a hard hit, but I might actually survive. Like, I'm sure the ship would break going over that speed, but wouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna turn that on. Oh, that would have been helpful, huh? You know what? We are not gonna land right there. We're gonna go out somewhere a little bit flatter. So let's do that, shall we? Whoa! Whoa! No, we don't want you to be following retrograde. We want to be following our own path, damn it. Okay. I just remembered that this thing does not have RCS, which seems to be a common theme for me. RCS, SAS, I have been terrible about actually using lately, it seems. I need to get back into the habit of actually equipping myself completely for these missions. So skipping across here, I'm going to keep scanning. My lights are on, though they're not really displaying anything because we're too high up. But I'm going to keep looking, see if I can spot anything here. Do you guys see something over there? I see something. I don't think that's it, though. I think it's just rocks. Or just glitches in the terrain. One of the two. So, should I do a manned rover, do you think, out here? Or should I just do like a little, little probe rover? What do you guys think? Drop in the comments. I mean, probe rover is going to be a lot easier to launch. It'll be smaller. I can use those small little wheels. We can do something more similar to what you'd see from like Curiosity style landers. Maybe not so much like the actual Sky Crane, but you know, whoa, wrong way. But you know, we could probably do something along those same lines as the rover itself. Whereas with the manned one, I'll need to launch up a bigger rocket and actually get it out here, which isn't a big deal. I mean, I can do it. It just, yeah. Do you guys want a small little rover? Or do you guys want something bigger that people can we can have Kerbal sit on? Your call. Let me know in the comments. So coming on in here, there's those lights. The gravity here is so low that even like the smallest notch of thrust basically starts to already counteract the falling speed very, very quickly, so I don't need much fuel here. Now the trick here is going to be getting a decent position for landing. So I think I'm going to go like this so that where the door is facing uphill. And that should be a pretty soft touchdown. Boom. Look at that. We are landed on Bob. So there's that. Let's get these deployed. And I can actually deploy all my communication relay things now. So there's those that opened up my satellite dishes on the side. And I'm going to turn off my landing lights because we don't need those anymore. and they kind of have been goofy lately. Away with you, and last but not least, away with you. Let's kick out our ladder, get this thing all fully set up and ready to go. Kinda wish I'd put some more floodlights down here to do the entrance, but maybe I'll just kick on one of these. Ah, that's nothing. That doesn't add nothing. How about this one? Nothing. Fine. We'll just have to settle for this forward one, kinda lighten the way. And let's kick on our science instruments, just for good measure. And with that, guys, we're going to call this episode. I'll think up a name for this station. Probably something in reference to the Kraken. I don't know. Who knows? I've been trying to keep a good theme for all my stations and landers, but that's mostly been screwed since I lost everything in that file save corruption. Not a big deal. We'll figure something out. I'm telling you, I'm seeing some like flashes right over in this area. Or maybe that's something over there. It's really hard to see. This is really washed out for me color-wise currently with where the position of the sun is. I wonder how fast I can get this. Maybe we can get an eye on something if I can get a good angle on the sun. Are we gonna see any sunlight up here? I think it's just gonna get shadowed out. We got some on the hilltop. Not much else. Let's zoom out just a hair. And zoom ahead. Oh, there's some good light. Do we see anything? I don't see anything, but it could just be that we're too far away. Maybe it's just not loading. Maybe this is just totally the wrong area too. I guess it'll be something we have to figure out when we get a rover. Do some cruising. See what we can find. Alright guys, well with that, I'll come back at you guys next time, and we'll see you then. Cheers!